In recent years, we have seen a new face of hunger. We have seen, during troubled times, we have seen our own neighbors come short. And when we look at the food box program that USDA did, there were luxury cars in those lines waiting on those food boxes. And I heard a lot of people go, hey, why are they there? Well, those people got laid off too. I mean, there are so many people in this country that are one check away from needing assistance. And I think we got a harsh reality check during the worst of times that could be any of us.
Absolutely. The face of hunger is changing. I think 30% of the people who were in those lines were new to the line of poverty and having to use the food bank networks and distribution channels to receive food.
I think there might be some general thought that what goes to a food bank is stuff that nobody else is gonna eat. It's things, you know what, I've got a load that's gone too long, I've got a field that's gone too long, I'm gonna donate it to charity and they'll feed it to hungry people, but that's not really acceptable, is it?
No, it's not. So our food banks in Florida and in the Feeding America network, we take food safety very, very, very high in regards to standards. We have audits, much like a retailer would. We have cooler space, we have requirements.
When you say an audit, that's an inspection process.
Correct.
Where a third party or someone will come in and periodically inspect food and facilities and make sure that they are operating to standard.
Absolutely. So we have seen produce look a little different. So I started in my role 6 years ago, and what we started out with 13 small commodities up to our 70 now, the maturity level of food banking and prioritizing produce and making sure that it is healthy and nutritious, and it might be blemished, but it does not have mold or mildew or decay.
It's just ugly.
It's just ugly.
And this is 20 years ago. That's another big change in this country is 20 years ago, this is a product that would have either been processed or discarded. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And in fact, there are retail companies now marketing ugly produce and imperfect produce, what we'd have called number twos or something like that, but it's perfectly great food.
Yes, there's no lack of nutrition in that same food that's considered a secondary, product on the market.
It's not inferior in any way.
Not at all. And so actually we've built a large program around it, and we're very grateful for it. It's very important from an EPA standpoint of gas emissions to make sure that we're taking food out of the field that's grown. It's definitely a priority.
Stewardship is one of the absolute bedrock foundations of farming, and it must be to be sustainable and to survive. But also just the thought, every farmer I've ever met, when you ask them why they do this, they say to feed people. Sure, they got to make a living, everybody has to, but there's easier ways.
Growers don't grow food to throw it away. They grow it to feed people, and they will do whatever it takes to get it out of the field into the hands of those that need it.
And I think what a lot of farmers might not understand about Feeding America and its various partners is that this is not a program that is necessarily going to cost them money. They can make donations and there are offsets. There are people who will come pick it up. There are people in some of your partners who will actually come glean your fields. There are people who will work with you to make sure that it doesn't cost you anything to preserve that product and to not waste that food.
Exactly. Florida is very lucky that our legislatures see the need for appropriating money to help offset the cost for our agricultural partners to help with the pick and pack out fee. So we are lucky in that regard that they see that value. So we actually help with the farm to offset those costs. Solving hunger shouldn't fall to the charitable need of the back of a grower.
You prevent a loss, you help farmers do what they want to do, which is be good stewards in the first place, and you help them do what they really want to do more than anything, which is feed people.
Amen.